Think about us. Think about you leaving.
What's going on, everybody? We had a little technical difficulties getting on. Let's see, are we live? I'm going to try to get on LinkedIn as well. Sorry to my LinkedIn people. Elena, what's up? D-Lynn, what's up? Roel, what's going on? Coal miner's daughter, hello. Andy, my brother, is going to be coming on here soon. We're going to be answering all y'all's health and wellness questions. See, are we okay? Cool. We are on Instagram. What's up? S Trotter Peg. What's up? Raleigh, Roel, Raleigh. Good. I think confuses me. Roel, what's going on? Brandon, what's up? Great to see you. Hope you're back from Nashville, from Brentwood. And that went well. I gotta get my shout out to Brandon real fast because he's in and out. He's in and out of the show. Stan, what's up? Great to see everybody. We're pumped for tonight. We got a great show lined up. Thanks to all who sent in a question before. As you guys know, we're recording the podcast as well. Connie Lynn, what's up? Great to see everybody. If y'all got a question for Ange, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let's see. I'm still got my eye on my email as well for those who are sending in on email. I missed a couple last week. I apologize. Where's everybody at? Ivy, what's up? Great to see you. Happy Taco Tuesday to you. You might have just changed my plans. Now that you said that, I'm kind of maybe a taco wouldn't be bad after this. Deborah, what's up? Katie, what's going on? Great to see you. I hope everybody had such a wonderful day. I had a wonderful day here in North Knoxville, in the North Knoxville office. Let's see here. Do we have any first timers here? Anybody in here for the first time? Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. Roel, how's everybody in Houston? I think we had a Houston listener last week. I hope everything is okay down there for you. Lisa, that's right. It is Prime Day. We'll have to come up with something. I love that. I believe Doc is watching somewhere. I hope he's out on the pickleball courts of Kingsport. If you need to find him, that's where you can find him most likely. Over there with Mom. Okay, good. Thank you, Roel. Tom, what's up? I see. Okay. I'm gonna get this on the show. We'll look at that, Tom, for you. Ange is about ready. Let's rock it. Yeah. Well, hello.
How's it going, Ben? I was right here the whole time. I wanted Ben to have a little bit of his own intro, a little bit of alone time. He's been hosting me here in Knoxville.
I have.
So I wanted him to have the spotlight for a second.
Thank you.
Know?
I think literally, and I'm thankful.
He's trying to fix my hair. It's nuts. I'm telling you, this is absolutely nuts right now.
That is healthy, happy hair, but maybe it's a little too happy.
It's definitely happy.
It's healthy.
I will tell you that's technically my better side. Like I like doing this. This is kind of where the hair looks. When I get it this way, it's the different parts. So feel lucky that you're over on that side. It's because Ben's room,
it's tight in here.
We have put I just want to tell you that in Ben's office, we have put the desk in the middle of a very small room.
It's tight. It's tight. So
it's like the bed's in the middle of the room. It's not against a wall. You have to fight your way to get in the room. So there's not really a backstage to this.
There's no green room.
It's okay. We're not complaining. We're not complaining. We're low budget right now, but this is great. We're glad to be here.
Guys, if y'all have a question for Andy, go ahead and put in the comments. I see Tabitha's in here. We got
Yes.
Grandma Mary.
Oh, Kiki.
We got
Oh, my
Katie
Kiki.
in here. Katie's
Katie.
thinking about the hair. You
I
know,
love
like
it.
this is just incredible.
He's there for the day. I know. Absolutely. Katie, you're right. We got to listen, Katie, you need to come down here and help me fix up this office, please. Dear God, help us.
Michael, what's going on? Great to see everybody. We're going to get to some questions here. I see the Nashville PA is in here. What's up,
Yes.
Nashville?
All right.
Brentwood, what's up? Okay, let's I see Carter just got in here. Carter, what's up?
Oh, Carter.
Happy Tuesday.
Oh, the Johnson City crew. I love it. I love it.
All right, so guys, y'all know the drill. We're going to take questions here for the next hour. If y'all got a question for Andy, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to every single one. We're going to start with a couple that came in throughout the week. Huge shout out to everybody who shoots me an email with questions. Y'all make this show get started in the right direction. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put up this one. Let's see here. Some of these are two-parters. Okay.
We like a good two-parter.
All right. Let's see where I'm at here. Let's start with this one. I tested positive for 2 copies of the A12198C variant on the MTHFR test. Would I benefit from taking L-methylfolate? And then there is a follow-up to that, Ange, once we're ready there. What's your thoughts on this?
Yes.
There we go.
I'm sorry. No. Absolutely, yes. Okay, so there's a great video that we have online from Robin on Explain This on what MTHFR means. If you do come in our office, we have printouts of what the MTHFR mutation looks like. There's several variants and several alleles that they can be doubled, like 2 copies would be a double mutation of this particular variant. And they all mean a little bit something different. The big takeaway from methylation is that it's hard for people to absorb B vitamins. And B vitamins are essential for a lot of life, a lot of the cellular health of life. So it's almost like the baseline that you need some sort of B vitamins. This means that you need a certain type of B vitamin. And L-methylfolate, anything that's going to be methylated for someone that has a methylation mutation is a good thing. That's a very generic way of looking at it, but I would definitely encourage you to look at that video of Explain This with Robin Riddle on methylation on MTHFR genes, and absolutely take L-methylfolate. You can follow it too to see what your levels look like in response to taking it. You can check a folate or a folic acid level, but that's the one you should take. Yes.
And just for context there's the Explain This episode. You can find that over on our YouTube channel. Some of you are already on our YouTube channel. If you search Robin Riddle MTHFR, that'll show up. Thank you for that question. And I'm going to get to the follow-up here. This is another kind of B vitamin type question. My body's been having a negative reaction to the vitamin Bs, and I'm hoping taking the L-methylfolate will get me back on my B complex. Is that right?
I think that's, that's kind of going into it. The most popular of the Bs is going to be folate and B12. Those are the 2 that people generally take. I'm curious about your negative reaction. Some people have a flushing with B complex and take it to be a negative reaction. A lot of that's the niacin that's in it. So it might not be technically a negative reaction, but it might, or it could be. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I've had a lot of people say they can't tolerate B complex, and a lot of the times it's just a niacin flush, which is a particular B vitamin that causes a flushing in the body that your body can get used to.
All right.
That's a good question.
It is a great question. I love the MTHFR questions. We talk a lot about it, and it comes up on the show quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for letting us kind of put some clarification around that. We're going to go to this one. We've got a couple questions around NAD. I'm curious about NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide.
That's perfect. Boom. What?
If it works.
Science.
If it works, if it's safe, and what brand you guys recommend. What's your thoughts on this?
So NAD is interesting because NAD deals with it's nicotinamide riboside, NR. There's NR, NMN, and there's also NAD and NAD plus, NADH. So there's a lot of different pathways within this almost like circular metabolism of how you make these certain coenzymes. So there's all these enzymatic processes that make all these little factors. What those factors do is help repair your cell. So all the cells, everything about aging as it goes down to the bare minimum about your cells. Are you reproducing them? Are they making them? And are they healthy? There's evidence showing that NAD decreases, or NAD plus, which is just adding a proton on, decreases with time. So that's part of the aging process, is that it's like the stuff that made your car once run really well just starts to deteriorate over time. And it's either you let the car die or and have its natural death, or you try to help repair those little coenzymes. So does it work? Yes. A lot of that's going to be anecdotal. There's not a lot of double-blinded, randomized controlled double-blinded studies saying that it does work in humans. There are a lot of mice studies that say it does work, and that NAD levels will increase and cellular metabolism will kick back in. And there's a lot of more longevity that's happening in these smaller species. A lot of people do take it. Is it safe? Absolutely. You should take it. A Life Extension has a really good brand, or is a good brand for taking it. I would take whatever is on the back of the bottle that Life Extension recommends. I don't know off the top of my, I don't think there's a great way to test NAD. I think there is. I don't know if it's easy, because I think it's a very volatile substance, meaning that it can kind of be in and out of your body very quickly. So getting an accurate measure isn't really good. So if it works, is it safe? Yes. Brand, Life Extension. If it works, I think it's going to be more based on how much time are you willing to put in to see if it's going to work. I think eventually you're going to feel better and extend lifespan, but it's going to come in conjunction with a lot of other things too. I don't think if you're going to McDonald's 9 times a day, not working out, but take NAD, right, I don't think it's going to work. But in conjunction with, is it a good vitamin to add for longevity? Yeah, I think it's a good one. And people use it for skin a lot too. You can do NAD plus like topically.
Have you heard of NAD plus infusions, like IVs? Do
people like doing a push?
Yeah, like a push.
So there's a lot of things with glutathione, NAD through IV. You're going to feel it. You're going to get it very quickly, and it'll give you a boost of energy. Some people like a push, some people don't. Yeah. I think it's so volatile, again, that it's going to be in and out very quickly. There's a big debate about whether glutathione actually does anything that quickly in IV, that some say it's just in and out very quickly.
It's interesting.
That you just need it. So the technical, like most common way people do NAD is orally. Some people will do glutathione, which is another thing for like longevity, cellular repair. They'll do that topically.
You know, it's cool.
It's interesting. And you can get nicotine, you can get NR and NMN through food.
Yeah.
And that starts the process for NAD. So there's foods, you can look it up. There's foods that are high in NR. I think it's nicotinamide riboside, I think. And then NMN, there's foods that are high in that. So you can get these things naturally, by the way. You don't just have to go straight for the supplement.
Yeah. Teresa and I were on the same page about the infusion.
Yes.
So thank you, Teresa.
Yes, Teresa, thank you for that. I think that you should, honestly, you should try it out. If you find some of these IV clinics, we don't do any pushes here. Pushes just means that instead of a slow drip, you're getting a quick burst. It's basically you add the syringe in and just push through the IV. And people will notice a boost, but can also, I know with the glutathione, I don't know with NAD off the top of my head, it can lower your blood sugar pretty quickly and blood pressure. So we don't typically do it, but a lot of clinics will. Some of these big IV clinics add NAD to it.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you,
That's
Teresa. We're going to keep moving here. Angie, I see you. You know what?
Oh, Angie.
Connie Lynn, I see you.
Oh, no.
All right, we're going to keep going here, guys. I love this question, came through email. What would a PRP injection be helpful in lingering gout situations, specifically in the wrist? That's interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think it would. I know PRP may be helpful for other things, but not particularly gout. So gout is a uric acid excretion complication. It doesn't work. So there's an issue with getting uric acid out of your body. And it usually sticks in those little joints. It sticks in your wrist and your toes. It's called the podagra. We do have a podiatrist, Brittany Miller, on board. So if you ever want to know about gout from her, she's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's uric acid. And uric acid is something that we get through nutrition. It's from high purine diets. And typically some people, it's just kind of unlucky that you can't excrete it like other people can excrete it. They used to call gout the king's disease because they would be high purine foods, a lot of meats, gamey meats, and alcohol. Not to say that that's your diet can exacerbate it. So really, I think what would be better is some naturals for gout. Even a prescription would be allopurinol or colchicine. And then naturals like cherries, celery, I think ginger, there's another root that's really good for it, but cherries is one that's a big one for that. That can help excrete uric acid. What PRP is going to do is platelet-rich plasma that's going to increase your own stem cells, which helps more out with the cartilage. It might not hurt, but I definitely wouldn't put any, it's not really good to put a needle into something you're not supposed to put a needle into something that's infected or hurting. You can do it if it's inflamed, but I would say PRP, probably not, but for other situations, it's good.
All right. Love the PRP questions. Thank you for that. All right. This is a milk thistle question.
Get that milk. You got milk thistle? Yeah, we do. I love milk thistle. I will tell you, I take it every day.
So what does Dr. Rogers think about milk thistle? Does it really help lower your liver enzymes, or does a mix like milk thistle and turmeric work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both are great. So I love turmeric, curcumin or curcumin. Those are very anti-inflammatory naturals that you can take and will decrease your C-reactive protein. People feel less inflamed on it. Milk thistle, the big thing about milk thistle is I think it's silymarin or similarin. It's either similarin or silymarin, and that's a flavonoid. So it's a plant compound that comes and makes up the bulk of milk thistle. And a lot of the flavonoid class works to be an antioxidant and to repair cells. So with milk thistle, silymarin or similarin, I think it's silymarin, it will go in and help repair liver cells that have been damaged. And really, like what they're saying, it's like kind of like an anti-alcohol, because alcohol can go in and it can damage liver cells. So that can go in and help repair. So I think I would definitely, Dr. Rogers, Papa B, he loves milk thistle. I don't know if he takes it regularly. I do, just because I drink alcohol regularly. Ben does too. Okay. No judgments here in the Rogers house. We like to have fun. But too, it's such a social component. Like I do it more socially. So it's going to be a regular intake. So I take it regularly. Some people can take it as needed. I think you can like crank up the heat on doses. I'm pretty sure you can do like 700 milligrams 3 times a day for like a month to really repair it. But does it really help lower liver enzymes? Yes, it can. I think it needs to be dose dependent and followed, and doing anything else to kind of decrease anything that's going to be harmful to your liver. That's a good question.
That is a
I
great
love
question.
milk thistle. I will tell you, I take it every day.
And
we do have it at the office. It's with Life Extension. We don't have a performance medicine brand, but there's Life Extension's a really good brand of that.
Kathy's in the building. Kathy, what's going on?
Kathy, oh, I miss Kathy. Hey, Kathy.
I love Kathy. Kathy's with us often on Tuesdays.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank
We
you.
would laugh so hard. I love Kathy. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you for being here, Kathy. Thank you to everyone who's in here. We're going to go to live questions here shortly. But before that, I'm going to put this up. We did an episode on sleep apnea today with Dr. Whit Moss. Wonderful, wonderful episode with a board-certified sleep dentist, which is actually kind of rare, at least in Tennessee. So I learned a lot on this one. Dr. Rogers has sleep apnea. He says it in the episode, so I don't think he'd mind me telling you guys. And it's been kind of a game changer for him treating it. And the big thing that stood out to me was that 20%, apparently there's like an ongoing study going on, and 20% of the population has sleep apnea, and 80% of the 20% doesn't know they have it. So most of the people that have it don't know it, which is crazy.
Ask the people that are in bed with them. Yikes.
Exactly right.
They know.
Which is actually, one of the diagnosing parts.
they know. Okay. Yeah, you hear that Johnson City train coming through? That ain't the train.
All right, we're going to get to an MCS question. This, of course, is had to do with last week's Common Sense MD episode. Question is, I believe I have MCAS which is mast cell
activation syndrome.
And believe it has developed due to long COVID. I have other long COVID symptoms as well. Would Dr. Rogers recommend taking Peptid AC daily to help with the allergic reactions from foods? I'm trying to follow a low histamine diet, but I find that extremely challenging.
It is. Yeah, that really is. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that because that is not easy to go through. And I know that's very debilitating and very inflammatory. So MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome, I would definitely recommend either is it a podcast? Is it a video as well?
Yes.
No. Okay. So I'd watch the video or read the note. It's like allergies on top of allergies on top of allergies. It's like a cascade where one little fire makes little fires everywhere. And so technically, I have had one patient with MCAS, like severe MCAS, that ended up going to like an allergist. It was either an allergist or a rheumatologist. I think it was an allergist that worked with her and definitely was on a histamine blocker. So Pepcid AC is a direct histamine blocker H2. So there's H1, H2 blockers. I would definitely be on it. And I think that's one that's a little bit safer to do than like omeprazole, a PPI for long term. So when you're looking at where the H2 receptors hit, you're really thinking about the gut. And that too can decrease the acidity in the gut, but in MCAS, that's a good thing because those put out the fires that then help put out other fires. When you're thinking about it with a person that doesn't have MCAS and that just may have some GERD, then the etiology or why it's happening might be different. So you don't want to have to be on something you don't have to be on, but risk benefit of Pepcid IC, yes. Long term, you'll read that there are kind of some proposed long-term consequences. I think the risk is worth the benefit for Pepcid AC daily, but not with omeprazoles, not with the PPI's proton pump inhibitors, which really isn't really affecting the histaminic response. So yeah, I'm sorry, it is challenging. That's tough.
Great question there. And this kind of goes along with it. This actually came up in office. I have a friend that is suffering from tinnitus post-COVID and has been to an ENT. Steroids did not help, and she is definitely trying to get any suggestions for relief. Any thoughts here around
That's
this?
tough.
It's a tough one. Tinnitus is
our mom.
Yeah,
does
mom has
that. So it can be caused by a number of things. There's allergies, inflammation, aging can happen, like the aging ear, damage to different ears, like sound, like loud sounds for a really long time, even like whiplash, head trauma. The worst of which is like if that comes on suddenly, are you growing something in there that shouldn't be in there? So with the tinnitus or tinnitus, you want to make sure that the ENT has checked out everything to make sure, does it accompany hearing loss? Is there pain in the ear? To see if something else might be, like there's something called an acoustic neuroma, which I'm not suggesting that your friend has that, but there's a lot of different causes for what can be causing the ringing in your ear, or you're having kind of like a low dose pitch going on in one ear specifically. So really we're trying to work on there's not a lot of good stuff for it. I'm sorry. That's a tough one. Steroids can help decrease the inflammation. I've had one guy go to South Korea and get injections into his cochlea with curcumin. And he took so much curcumin that he turned yellow.
Jeez.
This is like when I first started. That was nuts. And two, it got rid of the ringing in his ear. At the same time, a lot of ringing in your ear can cause a lot of psychiatric, like depression. It's really tough. I would say going to a hearing specialist, I would say try curcumin turmeric. That's a natural way. I would go for high doses of it. Usually we're like 800 milligrams to 1600 milligrams a day, even trying like 4 grams, like doubling the double dose just to try to get some relief with some of the, if it's an inflammatory process, maybe inquiring and probing further with your friend to see what was there injury to the ear? Was there whiplash? Was there head trauma? Were they a rock band member? And then I would see a hearing specialist because sometimes they can actually put like a hearing device on your ear that can match the pitch and kind of make it go lower.
Oh, interesting.
That's actually what I would do. If it's pretty serious, that's what I would do and start with. But curcumin in the meantime is not going to help or not going to hurt. Some people too, if there's any dizziness with it, because when you're dealing with the ear, you're also dealing with fluid. So you're dealing with equilibrium. So I'm sure the ENT went over it. There's a great ENT in Johnson City, ENT Associates. I love them. Dr. Zance, they're awesome. They're just amazing. So there's some good people like getting a second opinion from another EMT, but definitely hearing specialists.
Such a good question around long COVID there. I hope that helps. I know that kind of
That's
stinks.
a tough one. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, we are going to go to the live questions now. Thank you to all who sent in questions throughout the week. I see Katie Lynn from our Bristol offices in here. Katie Lynn, what's up?
Oh, Katie, I will text you back. I'm
So
sorry,
good to
I was
see you.
out of the country, but I will text you back, Katie. I promise. I promise. Please don't hate me.
We're going to get to this episode of Glow Up. I just got to put this up. Huge shout out to Kelly Kadish, our licensed esthetician in Johnson City. She did this wonderful podcast episode about the post-sun skin routine. We talked a little bit after July 4th, and I got a ton out of it. I hope you guys do too. About
loves the sun.
I love the sun. I love the sun, and when you feel kind of grimy at the end of the day.
Ben loves it.
So Kelly gives us her exact routine, which I was super thankful of. So
that's awesome.
Huge shout out to Kelly. Hope you guys get a lot out of that episode. And then we had another new episode of Dive Into Diet with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt, who's in our Johnson City location. Feeling foods, less calories. You guys have all been there when you are eating something that you can never get enough of and you never feel full. Well, these are the opposites. Lucas does a great job of talking about the best foods to eat that fill you up and don't have that many calories. It's like something. Have you ever had what does this to me is
Rice.
Peanut butter pretzels. I can eat them for an hour straight. So
that's good.
They didn't make the list.
Peanut butter pretzels.
All right, guys, we're going to take live questions. Thank you, Connie Lynn. Teresa, I got your question there.
Yes.
I see Ravond over on Instagram. We're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so let's see where we're starting. And let's start with Tom. Is this a question? Let's see. Well, I'll look at that here in just a second. There we go, Vicky. Vicky's on Facebook. Have been on Ozempic, but have to come off because of stomach issues. What is the next best alternative, and what are their side effects? Great question, Vicky. What's your thoughts on this?
So Ozempic is within the incretin class. So I would say next best alternative would maybe giving a different medication within that same class another shot. So not everyone responds to all GLP-1s or GIPs, which is what this class is the same. So it depends on the stomach issues. If it was nausea, if it was constipation, GERD, or some of the fishy burps or the sulfur burps some people get, maybe trying a different one like tirzepatide or Mounjaro or Zepbound. A lot of people will respond well to one and not the other. So they're not all made the same, and all bodies are not. I've had equal number of people not do well on Ozempic, do well on Mounjaro, not do well on Mounjaro, do well on Ozempic. So those are the two biggest ones, tirzepatide, semaglutide. You can also try an oral version of Ozempic called Rybelsus. So that's, we're not sponsored by any of these people. These are just brand names of this. But an oral daily, or even going back to like olden times now, Victoza, it might be that it's a once weekly injection that was causing the stomach issues. If it's pancreatitis is contraindicated, and that would kind of rule you out of the whole class. So if it was diagnosed pancreatitis, inflammation of your pancreas, which can feel like right in that stomach area, and that was diagnosed, you'd want to stay away from that class and do something different. And we're looking at insulin sensitization. So the best ways to look at it is like intermittent fasting, a keto or a modified keto nutrition plan that's not super limiting, metformin or berberine. Those are all the good ones. So if I were you and it's like I want some pretty serious weight loss, I would look at giving Mounjaro a shot and kind of addressing and seeing what the stomach issues look like. Then I would move forward with like a metformin or a berberine. If it's like, hey, I feel bad halfway in between my injection, day 3 or 4, and then it gets better, I'd look at something daily.
How long do you tell patients, okay, you need to at least give it 2-3 months before you move them to another one?
Oh,
Like, is there
I'd
like a
say, that's a tough one. It depends on
individual?
the severity of symptoms. So
Okay.
if it's super severe where you are throwing up every day, absolutely not. Like try something different. If it's pancreatitis, stop immediately. If it's like I don't feel that great, I'd say take some time with getting used to it at lower doses and see if you can build up.
Okay.
Yeah, so like probably 6 to 8 weeks. If you're 8 weeks, if you're 2 months of feeling like garbage on a lower dose, it's not the right drug for you.
Great question there, Vicky. Thank you so
That's
much.
great.
And what's kind of interesting too is in the sleep apnea episode. Actually, no, this was post the episode. Doc sent me a text around Zepbound and sleep apnea, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this up because one, Brooke, we love you. Brooke is in our transport office, and you'd have my vote too. You would have my vote.
Listen, Brooke, you know me very well. If we're writing in anybody, it's going to be Dolly. Okay?
Yeah.
We both know that, okay? Brooke is the best.
But
Oh my
we'd
gosh.
have to do something about your hair.
We would
like
have
that
to
would-
do. We would have to
Yeah.
do something about my hair. Brooke would have to do my tox. She'd have to get me all toxed up. You would be the in-house White House Botox lady.
I love it. Thank you, Brooke.
Thanks, Brooke.
I see Edna's in here. Edna, what's going on? Great to see you.
Edna, yeah. Oh no. Oh, Edna. I love Edna.
Let's get to Elena here. Are you still in the Johnson City office?
Oh, hey. So yes, I'm coming. I come every other week, so I am definitely there. I'm there a little bit less because I'm here in Knoxville a little bit more, but I am still there.
Is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday,
Every
every
other
other Wednesday. Every other Wednesday. We're talking about how that might change for 2025. We're putting that together. Yeah.
All right, Elena,
But
thank you so
that's
much.
sweet.
And let's get to her real question. What is
Yes.
the best supplement protein to take before or after a workout to prevent soreness?
So pre-workout, post-workout, what a lot of people will do is they will do like creatine. So creatine is just going to help give you that energy. It's going to get the most out of your workout. So people will do creatine. A lot of people really like whey protein. So whey protein can help out with muscle repair and building afterwards. I would say probably with soreness and repair is doing a peptide. Looking at Samorelin. Samorelin is going to help sometimes with whenever you're thinking about soreness with lifting. And Ben knows it very well. Ben's a lifter. Ben's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So me, string bean on the left. You know. It's ripping the muscles. You're damaging all these muscles and trying to rebuild and repair at the same time. So with soreness, it's the repair that sometimes takes a little bit of lag. So getting repair, and as we age, the repair gets longer and longer. It gets shorter and shorter. When we're younger, we can repair very quickly, build muscle quickly. Hormones also help. So testosterone is a good thing, and females can take testosterone. That will help out with soreness, but probably looking at the peptide class and getting the repair in. So I would say your best workout buddies are going to be creatine, going to be protein. It's going to be like a really good protein, absorbable protein. There's perfect aminos, which really helps out with building the muscle. Then looking at a peptide, and then looking at hormones, looking at testosterone.
You've been talking to me that you're getting ready to start, doing a little more of like a lifting routine.
You won't recognize me.
I've
been doing a lot of yoga.
So like what
and
protein would
dance
you take?
in my living room?
And tapping.
And tapping. A lot of tap. I have a tap lesson on Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah, I do. I can't wait.
Tapping's actually very difficult, like physical. It's very
Tap. But it's not going to make me bigger.
But like, what protein would you take? Because I know you're on the up and up when it comes to like supplements and stuff like that. Would you take any particular type of protein?
Probably whey.
Okay.
Whey has some interesting revelations with insulin resistance that it can actually help out with that. I honestly am doing that because it tastes good. Like
Yeah.
it literally tastes good. So that is that's probably a good question for Robin too about what her preference for it would be. But I'd say probably whey because I like the vanilla taste and I want to make it taste like a milkshake. I know that's so lame, but the most absorbable is going to be perfect aminos.
Do you mean the collagen peptides?
Now, collagen peptides is a great suggestion too. Would help. No, I'm talking about the peptide class like Samorelin, Ipamorelin, CJC 1295, which both of those are not commercially available because there's an FDA like suspicion on those right now, which is another topic for another day. Samorelin is technically something that increases insulin growth like factor 1. So it's going to increase your natural growth hormone, which helps out with repair. So it's technically a prescription, but collagen peptides would help too. I think that's amazing. That's great for elasticity. It's great for tendons. So that would be great too to take. And you can take that orally.
And Katie's saying that Katie, beef liver, like this is right. I mean,
She's so right.
yeah, like
Yes.
that would really be good too.
And that's a natural way to get
yeah.
that stuff. And liver's got so much good stuff with you. Did you know in Scotland I ate a lamb's liver?
No, I didn't. No, maybe you did tell me that, but I didn't.
Baby sheep liver. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was in a witch's castle.
Was it gross?
It was good. It wasn't like great, but it was good. I felt very healthy, but also I felt like I was hurting an innocent animal.
I'm with
It
you.
was very conflicting.
Elena's asking where to get the peptides for
So-
collagen. I'm with you.
Oh, for collagen?
Or the beef liver.
Oh, the beef liver. Okay, so where to get the beef liver? So,
I believe.
Katie would have the best advice for where to get the beef liver from, because some people will get it encapsulated. I know that the big Saladino MD guy has his own
Yep.
brand of beef
Yep.
liver. There's a wonder. I think it's Heart something.
I don't know.
Katie would know that if you can comment on it too, because Katie is our liver queen.
And Elena,
beef
am I
queen.
wrong? Am I wrong, Elena? For is it where to get the beef liver or the collagen peptide? Paul Saladino, Roel. Thank you. That is right.
Yeah.
Paul Saladino. Let's see. Heart and Soil. Thank you, Carter. And
Heart and Soil.
Lazy
Got it.
J Farms in Kingsport. Cool.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Go
And
right
then,
to the source.
then Katie's saying we sell beef liver capsules in the Kingsport office. So I hope that helps. We're going to keep moving here. I'm going to go to Instagram. To everyone on Instagram, we're answering questions here as well. And I'm not able to put these up on the screen, so I'm just going to kind of verbally read it out for Ravonda here. What supplements are helpful in lowering LDL besides statins? And I love this question because I know there's a lot of people thinking the same things. Any thoughts on this? Supplements lowering LDL
Yeah,
besides
so
statins?
too, red yeast rice, that's like the most common one. There's another one that's called anti-cold from Life Extension that has a component of red yeast rice in it. A lot of people will use bergamot or berberine. Those will help out with cholesterol. LDL is kind of your big fluffy cholesterol that you don't want to stick to the arteries. And there's certain types of LDL, big, medium, small, pattern B, pattern A. Does it stick? Does it bounce? So with LDL, it gets complicated. A lot of people just change nutrition first.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that you can actually have kind of a lower cholesterol diet. And I would probably talk to a nutritionist first because the standards for it right now, but you'd probably Google, it's not really super nutritious in other standpoints. But I would say if you're looking at it, berberine, bergamot, red yeast rice, are three of like the best ones for it that are not statins. So, and for those of you who do not know, statins are the most common medication used for cholesterol lowering. It blocks the enzymatic pathway to make cholesterol.
And LDL is the bad one, right?
LDL is the one you don't want. You
Right.
want cholesterol. You
Right.
just don't want enough of it to block your pathways and stick to injury in your
Right.
arteries.
All right, I'm going to put this up here. I saw this from Tom, which I really liked. And best way to combat soreness is to get back in the gym again. I agree.
Dang, Tom. Yeah,
I
hey,
agree.
listen.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
that is so good.
Thank you for that,
Yes.
Tom. Okay, let's keep moving here. Let's get to Angie. Angie, it was so good to see you last week.
Oh, Angie.
What do you recommend
Oh.
for polymyalgia rheumatic?
Polymyalgia rheumatica.
Rheumatic. Okay. What are some great supplements?
So polymyalgia rheumatica is tough. That is inflammation within the muscles that usually is bilateral. So you're going to notice it that it's a rheumatological disorder thought to be autoimmune. And actually, we've brought this up on lives in the past for polymyalgia rheumatica. You're wanting to do something that's going to be very anti-inflammatory. So natural supplements would be curcumin, turmeric. That's my favorite anti-inflammatory. You can look at the flavonoids like quercetin, luteolin. There's stuff that will help technically decrease the inflammation through interleukins. Those will kind of target those. With polymyalgia rheumatica, a lot of the times they'll do steroids. If you're going to a rheumatologist for flares, my best thing is low dose naltrexone, LDN. That is a no-brainer for anybody with PR, absolutely, because that works on the inflammatory cascade through interleukins, toll-like receptors that can contribute to my polymyalgia rheumatica, and two, looking at nutrition, because our nutrition can be very inflammatory. Go to the high oxalate. Have we done one on high oxalate nutrition yet?
We talked about oxalates, yeah.
That might be one to consider for someone with polymyalgia rheumatica, because that can cause a lot of weird symptoms. And so that'd be an interesting thing to see if they went on a low oxalate diet, if that stuff went away.
Got it. Because that was in the oxalate episode, it was that you might want to go on a low one. So you're saying you might be on a high one, and this could be.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Thank you, Angie, for
one.
that. Such a great question.
Yeah.
We're going to move here let's go to YouTube and get to Roel. My blood work on my TRT last week, my free was, total T was 482. My free T was 111. And my SHBG, binding globulin, sex, what's the H?
Sex hormone binding globulin
was 27.7. But on the doctor's notes, he wants to talk about FSH plus LH when the red, I guess, under range. So he's been on TRT for about 6 weeks. Both were in the below 0.3, it looks like, for FSH and LH. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, and now too, it depends on how you're feeling with it. So if you're on testosterone and your total T was 482, free T 111 or 11.1 maybe. Sometimes I feel like the free T is not a 111 number.
Okay.
That it just depends on how you feel. Now he wants to talk to you about FSH and LH being in the red. A lot of that to me would be because we're on testosterone. So whenever you're adding in the hormone, your brain's not going to think it needs to make anymore. So I can actually see that being depressed. Really, when you're wanting FSH and LH to be higher is when you're wanting to be fertile. So you're wanting that to stimulate sperm production. So I'm not super, unless there's something else going on, I'm not super concerned about an FSH and LH being in the red, unless there's a fertility thing that you're wanting to keep fertility up. And so fertility's up. There's a ton of information. So I keep bringing up Robin, like I'm punting everything on her, but she's our fertility specialist. There's ways that you can actually keep the LH. We're literally looking at LH wanting to be up for that so that you can make sperm production. So I'm not super concerned if fertility is not a concern. I'd be more interested to see how you feel and when that lab value is drawn, because testosterone is either going to be drawn at peak or trough. And so 4 to 5 days post-injection, you should have a nice increase, and then you should have a decrease after that.
Got
So it depends on when that was. If that's a trough, that's a pretty good trough.
Roel, I hope that helps.
That's
man.
great.
Thank you so much for that question. Connie on Facebook is asking,
Oh, Connie. Connie is my girl. I love Connie.
Connie, we love you.
We've
so
got good
much.
people on tonight, y'all.
We got such
This
a
is
good
great.
crowd. I mean, you guys are amazing. Connie Lynn, thank you for being here as always. What do you like best about methylene blue?
I'm telling you, so I just traveled for 2 weeks abroad, and I did 30 milligrams of methylene blue every day, and I did not get sick at all. I was on airplanes, trains, hotels, Airbnbs. I'm in a culture and a climate that it was not familiar to me. I'm eating things that I'm exposed to everything, not sick. Methylene blue, I'm telling you, that works on every part of the electron transport chain to make ATP, which then can help out with cell repair and infection and immunity. It's really for immunity. I love methylene blue because it's kept me feeling not sick. That's the best thing I like about it.
It's so interesting.
Antimicrobial.
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory. It can help with cognitive function too, because it can help with oxygenation of the red blood cell. But I like it most personally because of how it keeps me not being sick.
That's so interesting because originally when we started talking a lot about methylene blue is around, kind of focus and
Yeah.
but once actually it was you who started talking about it for for keeping your immune system strong. That's when I started like taking it. I take 18 drops.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Dang, 18.
Get
Get that 9 milligram.
But
What?
But that's interesting. I'm really glad you said that. So it's for your keeping.
That's what I like. That's what I like. It's very antimicrobial.
So it's antimicrobial, which is why it helps you keep a strong immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Connie Lynn. Let's go to Teresa here. Huge shout out to Teresa. What's the difference between Rooster Comb and the PRP for the knee?
Oh, so PRP is going to be making your own stem cells. So it's basically taking your blood, spinning it down, taking all the stuff that has your own, like, I forget if it's autologous. I think it's autologous stem cells. It's from yourself. Yes, autologous stem cells. And injecting it back so that you can make your own stuff again. So stem cells can be pluripotent, meaning it can be made into anything else. And there's certain types of stem cells that can do that. With PRP, it's basically saying, I'm going to make my own stuff again, the own collagen, and to support some of the tissue and the cushion in a knee is what PRP is doing. And it can also help repair some of those ligaments that keep the knee together. So all of that's going to say, get the feel goods from my own stuff in. Rooster Cone is hyaluronic acid. It's like a visco shot. So it's basically putting chicken grease back and it's putting grease in there. So it's basically putting hyaluronic acid, which is very fluid and lovely and helps lubricate the joints just from a Rooster Cone shot. That's where they source it. I believe there might be some head-to-head studies about PRP and Rooster Cone. If it's me choosing between the two, I'd say give PRP and as much of that a shot first. Rooster Comb is well tolerated, but also too cannot be well tolerated and can cause some issues as well. And the longevity, it doesn't necessarily. PRP is kind of working on the source of, I have a deteriorating joint, I'm trying to rebuild it, while Rooster Comb is saying, I don't have any, my joints feel very dry, almost like the Tin Man, and I'm trying to add oil back in. But it's not my own oil. Not to say that it's a bad thing, but that's how I would go for it. That's a great
question. Not a lot of people ask about the Rooster Comb versus the PRP. And Teresa, one thing I'd encourage you to do is we did a demo of the PRP, kind of what that whole process is like with Jill Henritzi in our Bristol location. And it's actually Dr. Archie getting an injection.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out if you're wanting to learn more about PRP and kind of what that process entails and best practices. So thank you, Teresa, for that. All right, we're going to keep moving here, guys. Thank y'all so much for all the wonderful questions. If you guys have a question for Andy, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm going to go to, let's get to Edna here.
Edna.
What is the best thing for a meniscus tear other than surgery?
So it might be PRP.
Yeah.
That's so interesting that it came on in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because meniscal tears are topical right now because of Djokovic with Wimbledon. So 4 weeks before he had a meniscal tear and had surgery. And so there's different ways to where they can do a partial surgery. Basically, they go in and they just cut out that tear instead of tacking the tear down. So that gets you back quicker. So there's actually I have a lot of friends in ortho. There's 2 different ways to go about meniscal tear. I'm sure there's several different ways, but at least the 2 that a friend of mine talked about with Djokovic was cutting out just the tear and getting rid of it, or tacking it down, repairing so that you keep that part of the meniscus. The partial one gets you out quicker so that you're back out on the game quicker. I wouldn't be surprised if he did actual stem cells, like Wharton's jelly, actual real life stem cells, not PRP where you're taking the platelet rich plasma and creating your own stem cell factors. I'm talking about from amniotic fluid and from umbilical cords doing that. I would venture to say that's what happened too.
Sure.
That gets it out. Now stem cells, actual stem cells, it's not really available right now. It's a little bit of, it's still controversial. I know some people that do it though, and a lot of people go out of the country to get it. So I'd say the alternatives is going to be definitely rest. Oh my gosh, rest that meniscal tear. Try not to do any exacerbating movements, a ton of flexion, a ton of being on your knees, like gardening. And then I would look at PRP, stem cells if you can find a place to do it.
Oh, there we go.
Or even just going in and going for the surgery. It just depends to, I would honestly see Jill. That's
Yeah.
what I would do. I'd see
Yeah.
Jill.
And thank you so much. There's the thumbnail for that episode with Jill Henritzi in our Bristol location. We are gonna move here to go stay on Facebook. We're gonna get to YouTube in just a second, guys. Carol is asking, I know DigestShield is the best pre/probiotic, but what would you recommend for someone who has trouble swallowing pills or capsules? Great question.
Oh, that's a good one. So
Yeah.
too, you can get like yogurt.
Yeah.
Yogurt has a ton of probiotics. You're not getting the prebiotics in there, but you can do anything that's going to be or to like that has cultures like sauerkraut.
Oh.
Sauerkraut's really good.
Yeah.
Doing something that has that base is actually going to be super helpful for the gut. Apple cider vinegar, sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt. Those are going to be all things. Some people just open the capsule, sprinkle it, and ingest it. You know, it doesn't technically have to be in the capsule. A lot of people do. I will tell you, a lot of people open up those capsules
Really?
and just break them up.
That's interesting.
I know a lot of people that do it. So you can still take it. The capsule just keeps it kind of all in its form, and it goes where it needs to go and kind of dissolves. But a lot of people will break it up, put it in yogurt, and eat it, and it's fine.
Thank you, Carol, for
That's great.
that. That's a great question.
But yogurt's another one, just like a really good yogurt.
I love this from Tom. One, because I've heard Doc say a lot about the ER stories around methylene blue.
No,
So, like, apparently every ER has methylene blue.
Yeah.
If you're having some sort of,
it's on their
Poison?
crash cart.
is it a crash card thing?
It's a crash cart thing that they can use during codes, but also to
They've got their,
Jeez.
that's a real story
but
right
it's
there.
carbon monoxide poisoning. That's like the test question for it is carbon monoxide poisoning.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's wild.
Thank you, Tom. We'll have to see if Dad
I
have.
want to
any
go
of
work
those.
out with you, Tom.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see where we are at. If I'm missing anybody, I'm going to put this up from Roel. Thank you, Roel. Liver King Ancestral
Yeah,
Supplements.
yeah.
This is for the, I'm assuming for
Roel
the,
knows his stuff.
I
Montana's in the house.
see Montana's in here. Montana, what's
What?
going on? Great to see you.
Oh, Montana.
It's so good to see you.
I was going to say, Bert, it's cold in here.
It's hot though.
I know. I know. Montana will think it's funny. She'll think it's funny. Trust me. Yes. Oh,
Rachel and Leroy are in here.
Rachel and Leroy. Oh my
What's
God.
going on?
Yes. Oh my God. I miss you all. This is the JC
I
crowd.
love it. I love it. Thank you guys for being in
Rachel
here.
is so smart. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's see if I'm missing. But if you guys have any last minute questions for Ange, go ahead and put it in the comments. We appreciate all you guys for being here tonight.
Yes.
Before we call it a day, let's see if I'm missing any. If I missed you, go ahead and put it at the end. Might be a little quicker for me. Let's see here. Sometimes I think this, but I know you're funny.
I do think I'm funny. I do. I admit it. I think I'm funny. Ben's funny too. Oh, Tom,
You got to be
please.
mentioned over 500.
Dad says I have something called bird chest. So I think I'd be your toughest client. I think I would be your absolute toughest client. If you can get me benching over 500, you'll win the lottery.
I
Trust
love
me.
it.
That's very kind.
I love it. All right, guys, I think we are done with the questions. Real quick, I'm going to put this up here for Katie. We're going to get our vitamin store up here.
Yes. Scan it.
The Dr. Rogers vitamins, they're located at performancemedicine.net/shop. If any of these vitamins or any vitamins are interesting to you, you can scan that code. It'll take you to our website, and we will make the 10% discount code live tonight. Let's see, live Q10. It won't be live. It's not live yet. It'll be live in about 10 minutes or so. It'll go for about 48 hours. So 10% discount for those that are with us live.
Like Q10.
We certainly do appreciate you.
Yes.
Dude, you did awesome tonight, man.
You did awesome as always.
Guys,
can we get Ben a 10?
How did Andy do? Let us
Can
know.
we get Ben a 10, please?
Let us know. Let's thank you, Roel. I want to get this for Lisa.
Oh, Roel, you're so kind.
Lisa, thank you so much. Lisa's with us each week. Let's see what her question is. What do you think about keto bread or low carb tortillas? It seems like they don't mold. I love this question. You're a perfect person for it.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking for. Really, what we're looking for is anything natural. Anything where the sourcing of that bread, I think, is a better version of bread than something that's processed and manufactured. So does that make sense?
That does.
So it's like if you know the baker, like I just came from these small villages and you meet the baker, like then you know where the sourcing is. You make your own bread. I technically think that's a better choice than some of the processed low carb keto stuff. However, if it's like, hey, it's either this or I'm eating mountains of carbs and I want to have a sandwich and then that is an absolute good thing to do. So it depends on what's in there, how it's made, how it's processed. There's some good low carb tortillas, maybe from Mission. Some are made from spinach, although now spinach has high oxalates.
Yep.
So it's some of it's you can't win with nutrition. So I think too, trying them out, seeing how it tastes, one, seeing two that you can still eat the things you like and notice whatever your goal with going keto is, I think is fine. Now, I'd say yes, from a diabetic standpoint, it's very helpful because I'm giving less insulin for stuff like that, and it's still a transportable means to eat. But nutrition is so specific. So do I think about it? I'm halfway. I'm like, if it works for you, great. If you can, in a perfect world, we would be like all making our own stuff.
Right.
Yes. But don't worry. Listen, I sit next to Robin every day. I lose that game all the time. I lose it. It's like, I was like, I'm so healthy. I wash my hands with Myers. She's like, they'll kill you. It's like, dang, come on, Robin, give me a break.
Guys, y'all are the best. One, Selena, I love you so much. It's so good to see you. Selena gives us a 12. This is our first 12 ever. It's
Can
our
I
first
tell you
12
that,
ever.
Selena, you know very well that you and I were with my first injection ever. I'll never forget Selena. She's like, Andy, we got to find that triangle and you got to put it in there. Okay?
Yeah.
I was like, shaking. I'm 16 or 15. Selena's been with me for a long time. I miss you.
Selena,
that is so nice.
We love you so much. Please tell Bo we love him. Hopefully Bo's with you right now. We love him. Okay, let's get to Amber's giving us an 11, and she's saying you're funny too.
Oh,
you know what,
Amber?
You're funny. You're funny.
Hey, thank you.
You're funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really just fishing for compliments right now. So thank you. That is so fair. Her kids are the sweetest kids. Oh my gosh.
Ivy, thank you so much.
Ivy,
thank
I'm
you
coming
so
up
much.
next week, Ivy. Okay.
Jerry, thank you. You guys
Yes.
are amazing.
This is great. Tens.
This is the best.
Montana says greenwashed.
Is Robin greenwashed, or are you greenwashed?
I'm greenwashed.
What does greenwash mean?
Greenwash. That's another day for another time. That's a different. That's
So
a whole.
does that mean you're all like eco-friendly?
You think you're healthy.
Oh.
You think you're eco-friendly, but really you're not.
Here's one thing.
Montana asked me where about my label for my apple today to make sure it's organic.
You know what?
We take care of each other, okay?
Now,
We
one
take
thing
care
I
of each
have to say for everybody in here who's still with us is that remember when we used to think that anything in Fresh Market was healthy,
we did
and like
the cookies.
the cookies, because they were from Fresh
That's from
Market.
Fresh Market. It's good
Yeah,
for you.
they have to be-
Basically,
they have
those
to be
half pies. Oh my god!
All right, I'm gonna turn the podcast.
Thanks for coming in, y'all. We appreciate it.
Guys, we are out of here. We love you so much. We're going to be back Tuesday, 7 to 8. Dr. Roger will be back next week. And let's see here. Actually, all I'm doing is looking for my outro. You guys got the code live Q10. We'll be live in about 5 minutes on performancemedicine.net/shop. I'm going to put this up at the end for Katie there. We love you. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And come here, man. He is my brother.
He's my brother. He's my brother, and I love him like the sun.
There we go. I love you, man. Thank you so much for doing this. Great show. Great show. All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Cool.
And but first,
And y'all, we're
Brad's
gonna
gonna-
get Ben a new office, okay? Push for it. Okay. It's blazing fury in here, and there's 2 feet of space. This is why we're
Don't go away.